When we're working with percents, it's important to remember that a percent is best understood as a ratio. So, for example, when we say 35% of a company's employees are men, right, this percent of introduces the quantity called the base. We understand this 35% as the ratio of men to all employees. We understand this as saying there are 35 men for every 100 employees. So we understand this percent as the ratio 35 men over 100 employees. Right, that's what the fraction 35/100ths is representing. We know what to do with that ratio. Men, the number of men, equals 35 men for every 100 employees times the number of employees. So if we're told, for example, that the company has 20 employees, and we're asked, how many men does it employ? Well, the number of men, we'll call that M, is just 35 out of 100 times 20. And we could do that arithmetic by hand if we liked, or we could do it on the calculator. We'll say 35 out of 100 times 20. And we get 7. We conclude that the company employs 7 men. Now, in this example, the number of employees was the base, and the number of men was the portion. Right? The percent is understood as the ratio of the portion to the base. Okay. Well, we can use that to write an equation in general. If we say A is the portion, B is the base, and P is the percent expressed as a number, then we get the equation A equals P times B. The portion equals the percent expressed as a number times the base. So when we go to solve a problem in percents, we just need to identify these 3 things, figure out what we're trying to find, and then solve the equation appropriately. So we've just seen an example where we were looking for the portion. Let's see an example where we're looking for the base. Suppose we're told that Eric answered 12 questions correctly and scored an 80% on a recent test. And we want to figure out how many questions were there. Well, let's see. The percent is easy to spot. It's the one before the percent sign. So the percent is going to be 80 out of 100, right, which is 2 digits after the decimal point, 0.80, and we can just write that as 0.8 if we'd like, because that trailing 0 isn't doing any work for us. Okay, now it's not explicitly telling us whether those 12 correct questions are the base or the portion. So we need to draw on our knowledge of the world. Our percent score on a test describes the ratio of correct answers to all answers. So the base should be all questions, and the portion should be the 12 correct. Okay, now we have our equation. 12 equals 0.8 times b. We need to get b by itself, so we need to get rid of that 0.8. We'll do that by multiplying both sides by 1 over 0.8. The 1 over 0.8 will cancel out the 8, and on the right we'll just have b. On the left, we have 1 over 0.8 times 12 is 15. So there were 15 questions on the test. Of course, we can also have a problem where we're looking for the percent. Let's see an example there. Alice is writing a term paper. She's written 3 pages so far, but the paper must be 12 pages long. What percent of the paper has she written? Now, we can tell we're being asked to find the percent, because it says what percent. And we see that phrase, percent of, which cues us that we're about to be told the base. The base is the paper, the whole paper, which has to be 12 pages long. These 3 pages, then, must be the portion. So when we go through and find A, B, and P, we see that the portion is 3 pages. The base is 12 pages, and the percent is what we're looking for. So the portion equals the percent times the base. To solve for the percent, we need to get rid of that 12. We'll multiply both sides by 1/12. So we multiply 1/12 times 3. 1/12 times 3 is 0.25. We could make that as a fraction if we want, but you know, I think it's going to be easier to turn it into a percent if we leave it as a decimal. 0.25 equals the 12 and the 1/12 cancel, equals P. Oh, but we're not quite done. Right, we've got P equals 0.25. But we want to express that as a percent. So we need to multiply by 100. 0.25 times 100 is 25. We get 25%.